Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged.
Hey guys. Good evening. It is 8:15. Finally. Me too. And honestly, it's really sad that we have to do this because this has been established. But like we heard in that little interview that we went over yesterday, there's people that are out here as content creators, whether it be YouTube, podcast, videos, whatever, and they're still giving like false information about what this is. Hello. Hey, Heather. Hey, Esther. I mean, I don't think it's relevant either. That's why I want to go over it, because some people really believe that it was like this personal thing that he did, and it wasn't. It was a freaking school assignment. No connection, though. His own attorney. No connection. Yep. And differences in the way that the wounds were being described. So yeah, there's that too, which is like just in the PCA, not even the additional stuff that we heard, right? Hello. Hey, Meg. Hey, CH. And hello to Jen and James Smith. And hello, 416. Hey, DKM. Hey, Mr. Girl. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I don't know if you heard me earlier whenever I said thank you for joining in the Micah Miller live earlier. Hey, Casey. Hey, Ember. Hey, JB. Jennyville. Hey, Allie. You driving still? Hey, Jessica. Hey, Michelle. That's cool. Hey, Tonka. Hey, Sherry. That's my mama's name. Yeah, well, I mean, I understood the hype. Like, I understood why it got a lot of people's attention, but I don't understand why out of like all of the people that dug into it to see what it was all about and blah blah blah, why the truth of what it was didn't like go on with everything else. Like it created its own narrative. Very crazy. Hey, Corinne. Hey, Anita. Hey, Latina. Hey, Donna. So yeah, that's why I wanted to go over it, because I mean, I don't really think. Hey, Zooks. Oh, I did notice that earlier. You said that you really didn't get one. Yeah, notifications. I never get my notifications either, guys. You got to make sure that you have the little belly thingy on. And I never say that because I think it's so cheesy. That's why I just do it like at the end and just like have it like turn your bell on. I just think it's weird. Thank you. It is. Yeah, it was from DeSales. So I don't know. Like, because even some of the people that are giving out information about what this was are claiming that it was something that he did at WSU. And I'm like, no, this was years before. Just crazy. Hey, I've got to say something. Hey, Salty Grace. Hey, Michelle. Yeah. I want to just go through this just so that like we keep it short and sweet. Show that it's on the DeSales website. There's multiple people's emails that are associated with it that had different assigned like positions for what this was. And I think I actually know what happened. And then I'm going to show you guys what I think happened here and why so many people think that it's him and his like personal thing instead of paying attention to what it really was. I think I know exactly what happened. Are you? I want to make a design about like bedtime and true crime. Like I actually have one. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm going to show y'all just because I love y'all, but I wouldn't normally show a draft of something. But I'm going to show y'all this right here. So I want to make something. Maybe a lot of people don't care for the fact that I like make t-shirts and stuff, but I did print on demand and did my own art. Like I never went and like bought a design. Like I have Canva and I would like make my own, edit the shades, do different things to it. I like doing it because it's artistic. It's fun. I like doing this kind of stuff. I have drawings, different stuff. I have different like artistic takes or whatever. This is like just a draft so far of like a little bedtime true crime design thingy-mabobber right here. See, it's just something I was just like messing with. There's a bunch more that I want to do with it, but this kind of stuff I just do whenever I'm bored for like 5 minutes on a call. Because a lot of times I'm making my medical calls to these insurance companies, and Sometimes I have to wait like 30 minutes before somebody gets on the phone. Yeah. I do a lot of editing when I'm on hold too. It's cray cray. The insurance companies, it's just crazy. Yeah, but I don't know why a lot of people don't understand that this was like a group project situation. I mean, I can email me, and I will give you links and names to people that I learned from. Because there's just no way that I'm just going to be able to just like everything out. It's like I started doing it right at the beginning of the, like right before the vid happened is never I got into it, because I started doing print on demand whenever I got into stocks. Because I would make like Dogecoin shirts and stuff like that. I still have a bunch of them. Like I was really big on the AMC GameStop thing for a while. So I have AMC GameStop shirts and stuff like that. I still had, well, actually I took them off. I had some of those designs on my Etsy shop, but I took them off. I really want to start like a small business Saturday type thing where I can like share y'all's links and stuff, even if it's just like a small video that just gets like automatically posted, or sharing stuff in like the community tab. If you have like little Etsy shops and stuff like that, send it to me so that we can share it around. I mean, they will be whenever it's ready. That's just like a draft. But I do have my little monkey shirt. See the back? Everything is legit. This is the one that I just made for the channel. If you remember, you get a 10% off discount code to the Etsy shop. And I really don't like the fact that YouTube doesn't let us integrate our Etsy shops into the YouTube page, because I don't really like Spreadshop all that much. I don't like the pricings on it. It doesn't really give me a lot of customizability, I guess is what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't know. I might do like just like a little rundown video one day, I guess, where I could just like tell everybody who I forget this one's on. Tell everybody like who I use and stuff. Just make it like short and sweet. Here's the channels. This is what I do. Stuff like that. I can do that. I can do that. Only take a few minutes. So I'll do that pretty soon here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, does he? Okay, send it to me, Anita. Let's go ahead and get started. This really isn't going to take that long. I mean, love you guys. And we can still chit chat. Hey, Demi Lynn. Taiwan. That's hella cool. Australia and Taiwan. I know I have people from all over the place. That is so cool. They demonetized my Logical Oddity channel. So I don't even want to deal with it no more, honestly. I really want to make like a channel for like me and the kids that's like obviously more like just project related, and you don't really see too much of the kids and not have to even worry about that kind of stuff, because I was just sharing the same news clips that everyone else was sharing during the whole Trump situation, literally the same ones everybody else was sharing, and they demonetized my Logical Oddity channel. I'm like, I didn't even say anything. Like, I literally didn't even say anything. Yeah, just the same news clips that everybody else was sharing. They did that with a bunch of channels, and they did that with a whole crap ton of channels during all this Mr. Beast stuff too. So it's been curry. I will be doing an update on Miss Kylie soon. Honestly. It's time. Plus, there was a really good video that covered her case that came out about like 2 months ago, and I've been meaning to talk about it, and I have a whole bunch of notes. It's probably time that I get that out too. Yeah, YouTube's been freaking out. There's been a couple different platforms that are kind of just like doing crazy stuff though. Yay. See, that's awesome. But see, you guys are brave, because I see like crocodiles that are found on the beaches in Australia and their heads are bitten off. And I'm sorry that y'all live in a country, continent, whatever, that something is dangerous enough to just like bite a whole crocodile's freaking head off and like go on about its life. That's scary. That is so, I thought Louisiana was bad. Scary. I mean, honestly, look, the whole TikTok thing, I'll say this real quick and then we'll get on with what it is. The TikTok thing made me mad that they were trying to get rid of it for the reasons they were trying to get rid of it, because I watched our congressman people stand up and tell the media, the MSN, the NBCs, the ABCs, the News Nations, okay, all of your news views are going to all these TikTokers. All of these millions of views every hour. People are watching and getting their news on TikTok from these TikTokers. Don't you want your views back? We want you to get your views back. You want the paid narrative to get their views back. As soon as I saw that, I knew right then and there that TikTok was not the enemy. I knew right there. I'm not playing with y'all. So ridiculous. 100% humidity totally sucks. Totally sucks. Okay, we're going to get to this. I'm going to show y'all two things. Let me get this off of here. I'm going to show y'all two things real quick because I think I know how this went crazy. I think this is the first one. Okay. A lot of people did stuff like this. Now, this is Reddit, and I don't know if YouTube will let me post the link in my description box without it tripping, because sometimes I will link like where I'm getting my information from if it's like from an off format website, and it'll like remove it from my description box telling me that it's like spam content, but it'll be something like Reddit or an article from MSNBC or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe I'll just do a community post and put these links in here. But a lot of people probably saw this one. Okay, this is on True Crime Thoughts Reddit page. That's like the title of it or whatever. And this was posted 2 years ago. And this person basically just took all of the text and put it on here. But even on this one, you can see right here, here's Bryan's email address. And then there's also an email address for a Jeffrey and also one for a Michelle. Okay, that's 2 additional people on this project, already automatically proving that this was not a personal thing that Bryan did for funsies. It was a school assignment for a grade. One that he apparently got a good grade on, because look what his next step was, right? Okay, this is not NSFW like it states. I don't know why it did that, because it ain't. It's literally screenshots. I think somebody in here said they had seen screenshots. This is literally all this is. Okay. Now, I think the reason why people thought originally that Bryan did this himself and only himself is because when he posted it on this prisons one, like it shows right here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay. Do y'all see how it shows? No, you can't. Okay. I got to make this bigger so y'all can see this. Where it says student investigator, it only says Bryan's name. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I should have practiced this before I did this because that is too tiny. Hold on a second. Is it not going to get bigger? Is it just going to drive me insane? Okay, give me a second because I want to make this bigger so y'all can see what I'm talking about, because I think that this is where the cray stuff came from. And then I'm going to go over and show you that it's on something else, like the actual DeSales portal. It's on there. And it has everybody's name on it on the actual portal itself. So whenever this was clickable and people were able to go and get the information off of it, okay. See? This originally, like this one right here, this screenshot from it being in this one Reddit page only has Bryan's email. It doesn't have, see, it just says Bryan Kohberger at BK5781, whatever, okay? That I think is where a lot of the like crazy stuff came from, because nobody went further than that. Like they saw this one screenshot and didn't go further. A lot of people do that. We've seen a crap ton of it where they get little tiny nothingness and then they go crazy with it and they don't ever go back and they like never get any other information. Okay. So now I'm going to show you. This is literally the DeSales website. Like it's literally DeSales dot. Its domain is DeSales University. You can't just go in here. Yeah, but no, other names were needed. That's what I'm saying. Other names were needed because it literally has something to do with other people. And I'm going to have to take this. I'm going to copy the image because it's tiny. And I'm going to show you what it looked like on the DeSales website, because the names were there. If it would have been clicked on, people would have seen that at the bottom of the page, it literally has the names embedded in the DeSales website for the other people. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why people think that this was some personal project, some crazy thing that this future mass M-worder was looking into. Like, all you had to do was dig a little bit further. And you don't even need this information. You don't even need to know that information. You don't. That's great to know that specifics and stuff. Like, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see. But anybody who was just trying to be curious and figure it out didn't even need that much to know that this was a school assignment that was not just done by Bryan. Like, I feel like I'm like constantly just getting like flabbergasted by the like lack of common sense. Yeah, that's really like the best way I can put it. Like, lack of common sense. Like, you don't even have to know who assigned it, what it was called, the grade he got, all those things. All you had to do was look to see that it was a group project. And the fact that like News Nation, okay, like News Nation, all these freaking mainstream medias, and I think even the Goncalveses have mentioned this once or twice, the survey. And we heard the freaking lady yesterday that was literally interviewing and deciphering what this survey was incorrectly to somebody who personally knew Bryan Kohberger and was a student in his class that he was a TA in. And she's even telling this person incorrectly what this is. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I see that a lot in Micah Miller's case. We're not going to get into that right here. People seem, I know. Now, I understand people's interest in this, and I understand where it really raised a lot of whatever, okay? I understand that. But this was in the very beginning. It has been, guys, we're in August. We are 3 months away from 2 years. That's wild. And we're still almost 2 years later. We still have millions of people, a huge wave of people that don't know that this was a group project. They're using it as if he used this as a way to study the mind of a person that was basically living the Bryan's life, like the life that Bryan wanted to live as this person who did these horrible things. And that's not the case. It's not the case. I have questions about Enon. I mean, like, those kind of questions too, but also wondering if he's going to end up being called to testify, because he was supposed to be called for the preliminary. Yeah, it wasn't. He was like, what is he calling himself on here? Student investigator. The girl, I think, wasn't it a girl's name? Is the principal investigator, and then the other guy is the co-principal investigator. Like, he was literally just kind of like the third wheel on the project. Right. There's nothing super spectacular about this. And like, look, it looks like a regular old survey. Were you employed? Were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Were you experiencing issues with your family? Were you affiliated with a gang? Was this your first offense? Did you struggle with or fight the victim? Like, these aren't out of the ordinary questions. And then look, now we have some open-ended ones. Like, it's actually kind of like ironic that this survey caused such an uproar in this case, and then we have the change of venue survey that caused like the same amount of uproar. It's just crazy. But I just want to like, I literally just wanted to put this little short and sweetness out here, because people need to realize the truth about stuff. And it's not hard. It's not hard. Right. If somebody did the crime. Right. Okay. Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this point. That's sort of like a question that somebody would have to answer while they were being interrogated. Like, okay, what did you do before you left your house? Did you travel to and enter the location that the crime occurred? Well, normally, unless it's some sort of, DV type situation, you normally have to travel to where you commit some cray-cray. After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target? Please detail your thoughts and feelings. So once you got there, what'd you do before you actually started your stuff? What'd you do right before? Why did you choose that victim or target over others? Normal question. Because a lot of people motive, right? Motive is a big thing, even though they don't need it. Even though they don't need it. Hey, CEO. What's expected? It's kind of what's expected. I mean, it's still a school project. I mean, it might be weird, but it's still a school project with multiple people's names. You missed me, CEO. Yeah, but I mean, it's still a school project. And he wasn't like, he was literally like the third wheel of the project, honestly. I don't know. I mean, you can ask the same question about Kylie Rodney. There's always that problem, right? Like, even after the fact, they still never like show you anything. I'm like, how can y'all possibly? But then we did hear that whenever the girl in yesterday's, whenever she was going back and looking at all of like the notes and stuff that Bryan had left on her assignments, that even like all her graded like notes that he left on her grades were gone. I mean, yeah. A lot of people think you are so crazy. A lot of people do think, someone actually asked me the other day about the walkway, like the little like walk area in between the frat house and the house. Yeah. Because it was the first one of the very first things that people saw. Like, I don't know if you go on Reddit, but if you go on Reddit and just like type it in Bryan Kohberger survey or Kohberger crime survey or whatever, it's really just the responses. It was like the first inkling that anybody really had of this guy online, honestly. That's why there was such a big uproar, because it was like the first sort of thing that people saw. And again, people forgot to pay really close attention and notice that it wasn't just about Bryan, and they made it all about Bryan and turned it into something that it's not, which is crazy. It's just crazy to me. And these are actually, like, to me, they're normal questions. I feel like these are questions that are pretty, I mean, they're not worded the way that a cop would like interrogate somebody, in my opinion. I've never been interrogated, never been arrested, so I don't know. But it sounds like the more like psychological way that these types of questions to like generalize in order to be able to get answers. What was your first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? You know, your goal being to go in and rob somebody. You know, gosh, I need to stop hitting this thing. I moved it to a different location and I'm forgetting that it's there. And I use my hands a lot because I talk with my hands. That might not have been a good idea. Let's see. What was your first move you made to okay, I guess I had to type something in to keep going. Before leaving, is there anything else you did? Open-ended. How did you leave the scene? Well, if you drove there, you drove away. If you walked there, you walked away. After committing the crime, what were you thinking or feeling? Probably, oh shit. That's probably what I'd be thinking. And then over the past 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge, not being able to stop or control worrying too much about different things, trouble relaxing, being so restless that it's hard to sit still. I mean, that's pretty much like every adult in college, if you really want to get into it, or any adult really this, today with a job and, the weight of the world, because everything is crazy. And I become easily annoyed and irritable. So this sounds like y'all get it. It's just crazy to me. Feeling down, depressed, hopeless, trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much, feeling tired or having little energy. I mean, he's basically describing any normal depressed person. Yeah, routine questionnaire, meaning nothing special. Nothing special at all. Yeah. And as you saw, we had the lady that interviewed the girl that took the class with Bryan. She's interpreting this to her even to this day. Yeah. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of justification for everything that he did when it comes to this kind of stuff. And we already know that there's no social media connection between him and the victim. So if he wasn't looking at them on social media or on the internet, then all the crime stuff he would have looked up would have been definitely justified. This was his career. I mean, this just sounds like a depressed ADHD person until you get to this side. And then this is like the crime stuff. And it's like, okay, example. At a coworker's housewarming party, you spill red wine on their new cream-colored carpet. You cover the stain with a chair so that nobody notices your mess. What is the likelihood that you would feel that the way you acted was pathetic? That's actually funny. Yeah, from DeSales. Before he ever came to Pullman. A group assignment at DeSales. I mean, and that's why I'm like, y'all can't sit here and tell me that he left his apartment and didn't turn his phone off or leave his phone at the apartment to make it look like he was there or do something else and then just kept on going. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was also like put together by college kids, like weren't completely graduated. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it could be a lot better because like who labels, like who would word this like this in a actual survey from a medical doctor? You would never, at least in my opinion, walk into a psychiatric office or whatever for an evaluation or whatever and be asked, what is the likelihood that you would feel that the way you acted was pathetic? That's not a professional question at all. Thank you for gifting that, CR. That was very sweet. Yeah, that's the problem. The real issue is that, like this survey and many other alleged issues that's been attached to BK, anything was overplayed up to connect him when reason logic tells some bullshit is afoot. Yeah, especially whenever you've got the Goncalveses. Yeah, JP got it. Especially whenever you have the Goncalveses telling a whole attorney, Andrew D. Myers, a whole actual lawyer, yeah, the state's having a whole issue making a direct connection. Well, duh. Or come on now. Actually, if you go look, I wasn't expecting to see anything else. I was not expecting to see a damn thing else. But when I was looking, if you go and just like try to find this, you'll see all kinds of different pages. And there's a bunch of questionnaires. There's a bunch of different surveys. There's one for parents to take that are raising a child with another parent that's in custody. And there's a bunch of stuff like this about like if you've committed a crime, what kind of crimes was it? There's actually quite a few. I mean, it's a school project. So it really doesn't surprise me whatsoever that schools and stuff are utilizing more things like this. It really wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, this is normal. You have a bigger audience out here to get a bigger answer from whenever you do stuff like this online. And okay, I am good at resisting temptation. Yes or no? Having a hard, or not at all. Well, this person just answered to like get through it. I have a hard time breaking bad habits. I am lazy. I say inappropriate things. I do certain things that are bad for me if they are fun. I mean, it sounds like a freaking 3-year-old. I mean, come on. There's really nothing crazy at all. I'm just going to remove this. I mean, y'all get. I didn't want to remove myself. Okay. That's not the one I want. Where's my thingy that I made for this? Is that it? Okay. Yeah. It is a group project. It is. It's an online regular old. You'll turn green. You'll turn green. I can't see it on my end because I don't have what you call it, a second screen so I can see YouTube. So when stuff like that comes through, I can't see anything, and I can't see like the little creatures or whatever on the super stickers. It just tells me like a super sticker came in, but it doesn't show me the little creature. Oh, thank you, Rose. That's why it's blue. Honestly, we had blue for my son, and then he ended up wanting to cut off his mullet, and so he didn't have hair to dye anymore, and I still had blue, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it because it's his leftover dye, and I just like it, so I've kept it. That too. That's true. Hey, Jackie. Yeah, that's definitely true. Not a standard psych study? Right, that's what it's for. Right. Well, and he's not a psych major either. You have to remember that. Dang, I hit the freaking microphone again. He is criminology. So these are questions coming from a criminology student, not like a psych student. So yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that they don't sound correct. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Micah Miller's family. They're on my shit list. Hey, hey. See? Okay. Yeah. And see, there was a couple people in there that were talking about like being in the class with them and stuff, but not too many. That's really kind of what I was looking for, because I was like, okay, everyone's always looking at like Moscow for information. Go check Jeff on Reddit. Like I'm telling you, I saw a couple of them, and there was one that was just posted like 3 hours before I searched it, and it was in one of the prison ones. There's definitely other people doing these. For sure. I just forgot what I was saying. Happens a lot. But yeah, I just don't understand why at this point, like, it's an issue. Like, I don't understand why people aren't understanding this. It just drives me crazy because there's no reason, literally at all. But yeah, if you go and look, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. Oh, Pullman. Yeah, I wanted to look and see if there was anybody from Pullman talking that maybe like lived in the area or just like maybe seen him around or whatever. Just like maybe somebody that had like a more, I don't know, but I figured if it was out there, it'd have been found by now anyway. But there really wasn't too much. It's almost like a lot of it's like scrubbed out. I mean, that's just my opinion from looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely like geared towards like more of the criminal side. For sure. I know. Like I look up all kind of stuff. Chemicals that subdue you and all kind of crazy things because I'm trying to figure out if something could be possible in one of these things that we hear about online. I mean, yeah. I think Grizzly True Crime said that one time too, where she was like, if anybody ever looked at my Google searches, they think I was doing some cray stuff. See, that's what I was looking for. Anything. Yeah. I want to say yes, but Judge likes to be indecisive and make people wait. I don't really know if it's that unusual because like I said, I saw a bunch today that were not from Bryan and not from DeSales people and from other people. Well, he was assigned to it. Wasn't he assigned to it? Like it was a group thing. But I mean, that's that kind of stuff that you want to look that you need to be looking at anyway, whatever you're in criminology, because a lot of it is about the way that people think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people have mentioned that before, and even the girl, the Cassie chick that we listened to yesterday, she even said that he was always really clean cut and shaven and always had like sweaters on and really clean, and then he was a little bit disheveled afterwards for a while. I mean, that's something that's always gotten my attention if it's true, and it seems to have been true, but we also know that he was getting in trouble at school for being like a stickler and for grading people too hard, and him and his professor were having a lot of issues, and they claim that the way that he was grading is one of the big issues that he was having and that he was getting in trouble with. But a lot of people want to make that a big deal too, but like I've mentioned, they're trying to blame him like losing his job, if he did lose his job, which he didn't, by the way. He did not lose his job prior to the merge. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He lost his job. I don't even think he lost his job before getting arrested. I think that the school got a heads up and tried to clean shit up, and they just didn't really have the time to do it too well. And we know anyway, because the timing for the trespass papers and all this other stuff doesn't make sense. He was not fired, and he was grading papers even on Christmas break. So there is just no way that he was fired ahead of time. There's just no way. There's just no way. But it was a male professor that he was having issues with. And just like we heard the girl say, like she went up and asked Bryan a question, and commonsensical Bryan said, well, did you review the work? Basically, as a teacher saying, you're asking me a question, you were assigned something to review. If you reviewed it, you know the answer. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask this person, did you review the work? Because that's normal. To me, that's just like a sarcastic answer of like common logic. Like, why are you asking me this? I gave you everything. If you reviewed it, you know. To some people that are more emotionally girly, it might come off as mean and sexist because they're not getting what they want. That's why I don't really go too hard on like the stories of him grading women harder, because that's not the case. Even the Cassie girl was like, he wasn't just like grading us off. He was giving us like detailed long notes about why he felt like we deserved such the good grade. Like he wasn't just whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see, that would be a problem. And I feel like maybe Bryan could have been, and again, this is just my opinion based off of what we know, and what we know might not even be accurate. But I feel like maybe he was told that he needed a grade on a curve because of that right there, and he didn't appreciate that. He didn't want to grade people and hand out participation trophies. I know I'm not okay with that. And I've had kids in sports. I'm not okay with that. That's not true, though, because he still had access to grade on the 16th. He was grading paperwork on the 16th. So there's no way he was fired. No way in hell, because he would have had no access and everything would have been taken out. He wouldn't have been able to log in, grade nothing or nothing. And he was grading papers on the 16th. So there's no way. No way in shit. And if you're fired and then you get arrested for something that has nothing to do with where you work or anything, you don't need to be trespassed. Yeah. Well, we know for a fact he went to a pool party. So I don't know. Tell your friend to email me if he wants to give me like insight, if he can prove that he was in school with Bryan. Mm-hmm. See? Well, and I mean, people know how I feel about WSU Kim. But considering the fact that she seems like the type to do this, when she says that she called the school and was like asking them all about him and stuff, I really feel like she's for real whenever she said they're trying to figure out what to do with him. That makes sense to me. It really does make sense to me, because he was still on the roster. People were looking him up on the WSU rosters. Yeah, like if Bryan Inton got a call, okay, this is how I know that people knew ahead of time that Bryan was about to be arrested, okay? We know that the Goncalveses have come out with like 2 different stories about that night. And I do find it kind of strange that they can't keep that story straight. And it's not just because like the timing keeps changing, but it's because they know damn well that they slipped up one time and told us that they were given the name. And that's whenever they try to lie about going in and finding connections between Bryan and the girls, because so many actual reputable people went in and had screenshots of everybody that was following the girls, that they were following back and everything. And it wasn't until after Bryan was arrested and it was publicly spoken that people knew that all of a sudden these fake ass profiles started popping up everywhere and people were getting followed left and right. But those exact same profiles were not following the girls before the arrest of Bryan, which is why Law and Order and all these other Hulu whatevers that the Goncalveses have tried to show this stuff to, while they're letting them talk about it and lie about it on national television, they've got this disclaimer in the top claiming that these things can't be validated. And I'm just like, come on. It's just the stupidest stuff. It's just stupidest stuff. Oh, I'm almost done. USA Kiwi, I'm about to be done. But I do believe that he was fired after the fact, because when they try to tell us that they didn't get the name after already letting it slip that they had the name, which I don't believe they had the name, because if they really did have the name, then they wouldn't be out here lying. I mean, they probably would be out here lying. They seem to be fine with that. But I just don't believe that they had the name. Brian Inton also came out. I believe I mentioned this the other day. I think I mentioned this the other day. He was on the Mile Higher podcast and said that he got a phone call the night before. And so he flew from, I believe, Florida up to Pennsylvania, and he was on the ground like a few hours before the arrest was made. So he was told, the Goncalveses were told, people knew hours ahead of time. You mean to sit there and tell me they didn't give WSU a heads up to get their shit together? No. They tried to do whatever they could, but in the end, the reality was he was still very much employed. He might have been getting in a lot of trouble because he was grading wrong, according to what the professor, who's apparently a hard ass, that's what Cassie said in her interview, that he's not the easiest professor, that he does things real old school. Somebody set in those kinds of ways, they're not going to allow anybody to change what they're doing. You're going to follow my lead or you're going to get the hell out, is basically what those kinds of people are going to do. So I just feel like he got into some school stress and the timings are just strange. The timeline that they're telling us right now doesn't add up. Their own narrative is fighting against them. So if they want me to believe that Bryan did this, then they're going to have to do better. I personally do not believe that he wielded the thing. I don't at all. It doesn't make sense. I don't think he's ignorant to the situation, though, which is where I find myself trying to figure out where it's at, because the 9 to 9:32, stop staying in there for 10 to 12 minutes, that right there bothers me. And I really just feel like it's because somehow or another he got a heads up about something happening. That's how I feel. I don't think he wielded the blade. There shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. I have it on like every, I think, 24 minutes. Something like that. So there shouldn't be. You should have literally gotten like not even a whole 2 yet, because it's only 43 minutes. You should have only gotten 1. I know that you're not WSU, Kim. Kim makes herself very aware when she's here. We have our issues. She knows how I feel about her stuff, but she comes in here and talks sometimes. She was in here yesterday. I haven't blocked her. She still comments on stuff. She just knows that, I mean, I believe the basics of what she has to say, but I don't believe none of the other boo-boo. She knows that. I think he does know something. He has to. I think he knows exactly. Yeah, that's what it says, and it's bothering me because it's so specific. Oh, well, that's not me, bro. Because mine's set on every 24. I always have it set on every 24 because I know that I don't like ads either. You should have literally gotten 1 ad so far. That's crazy. But yeah, it says he left his apartment at like 9 o'clock in the morning with the Moscow, Idaho, whatever highway thingy, Pullman, Washington, Idaho, Moscow, Pullman thingy highway. Okay. Hung around for 10 to 12 minutes and then went back to his apartment and was back by 9:32. I don't know. Or GPS was utilized maybe, but it's a different tower, I guess. You should not have. You should not have. You still shouldn't have even gotten a second one yet. What? Interesting. I'm going to go back and check it because it's on 24. I always have it on 24. YouTube ain't getting my money. I signed up for the free trial and I only did it because I don't know how anything about technology works. And so whenever I saw like it said something about like you can download episodes on, see, that's so stupid. You should not be doing that. Like you still have 2.5 minutes before the second ad should even play. And it shouldn't be playing at the same time. Like everybody should be getting ads at different times. Maybe. Plus, they know I'm pissed at them too because they demonetized my second channel. So maybe they're just messing with me. Yeah, I mean, everybody did. This is 2 years old. Twice? It's crazy. Well, there's a lot of people that come overseas to go to college here. What's crazy is that, like, some people come over here from countries that have, like, free tuition, and then they have to pay our tuition, and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, it's the second time you said that. This doesn't really mean anything to me. You're kind of, like, missing the whole point of why we're going over it. What? Okay, I want y'all to tell me stuff like that because I, like, as a creator, I do have a way to contact them. It's just very rare that it's a human that gets back to you. That's crazy to me. I literally have it set on 24. That is wild. People wonder if he's going to. I really don't know if he's going to. I just don't know if he's gonna. He's been silent this entire time. So I don't know. I would like for him to. I just don't think he's gonna. So I don't know. I don't know. So what I want to do next. What is today? Is today Wednesday? See, I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow, we are probably going to go live just so that we can go back over the inventory sheet. Because so many people are now talking about the cards that were found because of the stuff that Bloom said, even though obviously that's going nowhere. And a lot of people, like, they don't know about the Don Daniel situation with the blood samples being displaced, even though we covered this stuff like 2 years ago. A lot of people just don't know. And I've been asked to go back through the inventory sheets, and I want to. I want to go back through it because it's just wild. Yeah, it comes full circle, which is exactly the reason why I feel like his parents are not talking. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go back through it. But yeah, I feel like that's why his parents are not talking. I feel like that's why his sister's not talking. I feel like they're respecting what he's claiming, and he's been able to prove thus far that he's doing exactly what he said that he was going to do, that he was going to use everything that the state is claiming that they have on him against them to prove that he's innocent. Yeah, I don't think he's going to say anything. I don't think he's going to say anything. He will stay silent the entire trial. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's the one, because people are wondering, and I'm wondering too, because they're not like old IDs from him being like chubby to skinny and all the different IDs and stuff that he's had at like different schools, because they wouldn't be taking that in as evidence. So I'm curious as to what they are, but I know some people like have other people's cards because they went to school with those people, and it's kind of like instead of a yearbook thing, it's like an ID card thing from like, well, they never said that. They've never once verified whose they were. We just know that there's no connection between him and the victims. So the cards weren't the victims. And because the state wants to say Dylan and Bethany are victims too, even though I don't agree, in my own personal opinion, that means them too. Hey, Annie. I mean, that's the whole silence thing. Yeah, he should just hush. That's so stupid. Why are they okay? I'm gonna email them. It's on 24. There's no reason for that. That's absolutely stupid. We don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, wasting our time. I don't know. I'm pissed about that situation. I'm sure more information will come out and I'll talk about it, but I was live earlier today with it. Yeah. I don't know. But I guess that's it, you guys. Like I said, I just wanted to make it like short and sweet. We've been talking for a minute, but it just astounds me that there's so many of these creators out here that are still giving false information about what this survey is and making it sound like it's something that they need to be using against him as a freaking school group project. Yeah, the whole no weapon thing is crazy. And not just no weapon, but they've given us multiple explanations, descriptions of the wounds. It's just wild. Yeah, I think it's snacky snack time here too. None. You heard me? None. They can't implicate Bryan, but they can't implicate anyone else either because it's gone. And what was it that he said about the cameras? That he couldn't validate that Bryan's car was on them and that most of them were from during the day and not the time of the crime and they were useless? See, that's still something that I want to talk about by itself because I didn't. Because I find it interesting that they did a federal grand jury and then tried to hide it whenever hearsay is allowed in federal grand juries, and it failed. That's wild to me. And then what did they show? That's why I said, why is Ann Taylor not using the ammo that she has? Because just what happened at the freaking hearings, all of the admittance of bullshit that we heard at those 2 hearings, that right there would have been grounds for a dismissal of the grand jury indictment. Why is Ann Taylor using boo-boo? She's got real for real ammo here, and she's not using it. That's wild to me. Like, girl, I could write this better than you. I'm not really saying that because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the laws and stuff. But why are you not using what you got? That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. That's just a guess, though. We don't really know for sure. I'm really trying to find out the very specifics. But even in an investigative grand jury, hearsay is still admissible. And even with them being able to go in there and give them a bunch of boo-boo off the top of their head without any proof to back up for it, they still didn't. I don't know. Thank you. Probably going to keep it this way for a while. We'll see. But that's so dumb though. Yeah, it'll be a minute. It'll be after the change of venue hearing. That's coming up on the 29th. 29th? August 29th. Honestly, we don't know. So I'm surprised another attorney has offered free help, like higher appointed attorney. I mean, we don't know if they have. He might be turning it down. Thank you. That's very sweet. Oh, she did say that? Interesting. I see. I need to go back and find it because I remember I clipped like where she stated that it was a grand jury one, because at first it was said and a bunch of people were like, oh, she just misspoke. And I was like, no, broski, she did not misspeak. Like, this is something that happened. And it made sense to me because the actual state grand jury in situation had happened until May, and he was arrested December 30th. They had plenty of, that's 5 months. 5 months. But that's not even really true though, right? Because Thompson's about to go. I mean, that might be true for like Jennings and whoever else, but Thompson's about to be retired. I don't know. Yeah, and the freaking house is gone. Okay, see, I'm about to go check my settings because that's annoying me. Like, I'm not even kidding. I have it set at freaking 24. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, it would help if I actually knew how to type. Yeah, that's what he said. And that all of the other stuff that he's seen is like daytime, sun's out. And then what's his face? The other one, Mowry, he didn't even like organize anything. He was given all the security footage to do stuff with and didn't organize it, didn't date and time it, didn't do anything. And I'm just like, he's just got a whole folder and he's just throwing it in there. Just wild to me. Hold on, let me check this and see, because this should be on 24. This is going to make me mad. I don't even know unless we see it back here. That's going to take forever to load. I'm going to check it. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. Can I edit this to see it? I don't understand. Look, I'll show y'all right now. Do y'all see it? 24. Y'all should not be getting ads every 5 minutes. At all. So I'm going to have to, that's what it is then. So I know I was having some loading issues on my phone and then on my computer, and I'm like, okay, I don't have it on both. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to message them on YouTube. Yeah, I'll message them, not on YouTube. I'll message them on Twitter. That's whenever they get back to you the fastest. It does. It's crazy. Yes. Yeah, because they were talking about the 51 terabytes. Anne was asking him about the 51 terabytes. And that's whenever they started talking about how a lot of it is like weather cameras. And then some people went to the websites, and yeah, it's just insane. That never happens. I mean, I've had so many people say this, and I just don't understand. When was the last time you ever saw that happen in real life? When was there ever a crime case where you actually saw them like, no, when that happens, they're literally told like, turn the cameras off, get the people farther back. They don't show that, guys. So many people think that that's like a reason why there's like some sketchy stuff, but they don't ever show that. Like the last time I ever saw anybody being taken anywhere on a stretcher was the Anne Heche situation where she popped out the body bag. So I don't know. I've never ever on a news thing seen a body being taken out of a house or anything. Ever. See, and look, I'm telling you right now, I have my issues. I do have my issues because they don't. There's a lot of unnecessary stuff. I feel like they argue. And a lot of the stuff that Ann Taylor is complaining about is also stuff that she could alleviate if she really wanted to. Because we have to also remember that while they're over here complaining about like all the secrecy and all this other boo-boo, they also wanted the damn gag order. Well, hands are always supposed to be bagged. That's like 101 protocol for crime scene collection. Actually, if you don't bag the hands, you can like really get like in trouble, honestly. Like, for real, you can. Seriously. Because they have to go in and scrape the nails. So they have like literally baggies for your hands and for your feet so that nothing falls off or gets on it that could contaminate it while they're getting you to the morgue. That is totally protocol. Well, and that's where she went wrong, because she should have. That's what I said. Like, are they going to fight it again? Because the Goncalveses want it lifted. And if the Goncalveses and the defense were to go in court, I think I said this the other day, if they were to come out in court together and say, no, lift this gag order now, I think they'd do it. I think they would. I really think they would. Yep. Bagging of the hands, bagging of the feet if they're barefoot. Yep. That's normal. You don't know that, though. You weren't there. No one can say this statement. And I see this all the time. Guys, you cannot say no one saw it. There was hordes of people around that house. Don't think for 1 second the cops were right there watching and making sure that nobody was taking videos and pictures and nothing, telling them, put your damn phones away. That's what happens at crime scenes. I mean, yeah, I know. I remember. See, bro, that's crap. That is such crap. You two is such an asshole. Yeah, no, that's totally normal. I have never heard of a case where a prosecution is sitting there putting a guy or attempting to put a guy on death row and they've never even read the autopsy reports. I mean, they have now, but this was like, what, about a year ago? A year ago, Xana stood up and said there was something conversation going on about the autopsy reports, and Xana damn straight stood up and said, yeah, well, we don't have them. And then when they did get some medical record stuff in, it was thumbnails of the freaking x-rays, little bitty nothingness. And they had to ask for the full size ones. Like, have y'all never worked a crime ever? Ever? I mean, maybe they are. But maybe they just want to stay offline too. I've noticed that a lot about cases is that a lot of the local people, they will not really get online too much. They will in the very beginning, but then just like every other case that gets popular, the craziness starts and the locals just cannot handle it. And so they stay offline. Honestly, I think one of the reasons why is because they know damn well that with what they have and what they're going to present, that even if he is found guilty, no way in shit would anybody put him on death row because they don't have enough evidence. I think it's a tactic. Yeah, they shut down like a lot. They shut it down, I think, all the way to Taylor. That's what I'm saying. Like, so many people say that, and I'm like, guys, I don't know what creator, like, put it in your head that that's a red flag, but it's not. It's not. Yeah. Not just the court. I mean, yeah, the court, but like, you've been a prosecutor for how many years, Thompson? Come on. I can't. Oh, Alice. I'm so glad to see you in here. You are awesome. You're so awesome. I'm glad to see you in here. A drone? Are you talking about the like to go see stuff over there? That's I've never heard that before. I just know that there's stuff that the Goncalveses stated. But when it comes to like anything in her face like that, all we've really heard is that like her attack was like more gruesome. That's really kind of all it is. You would think, but I mean, Kylie Rodney. I'll always go to that. Of course, I don't think the party is what they said the party was. If there was I don't think there was not a party, but I don't think the party was as many or as intense as they said it was, because there's no way that like people from all over the like different counties and stuff can be kept quiet too. But apparently they can be kept quiet for a certain amount of time. They should be. They should be. There's no reason for them not to testify. Like, even, I mean, I want them to show up. I really need them to show up because I want to know what Dylan's reaction was whenever she saw Bryan's face. And that just might be my own curiosity, but honestly, it's freaking important because we don't even know at this point if she was ever even shown like a lineup of like, okay, look through these photos and see if any of these guys look familiar. Like, do we don't even know. And that drives me insane. Like, we don't even have that one. What would be so difficult to just tell us that? Like, if they could sit here and tell us from the police that they brought Dylan in on this date at this time, and she looked through all of these photos and everything was uncoerced, and she picked out Bryan's photo out of a whole stack, that would be important if it was a thing. Yeah. That's all she saw. She's not going to have a choice. She's not going to have a choice. But that's my thing, though. Like, the way that they're acting about it, her and Bethany both. And honestly, again, like I've said, I made a video about this too. We've never heard directly from both of them. We only know what the police are telling us. And we saw how Payne takes stuff. He goes all the way over to this side of the building, has a conversation with an expert who's an expert in a field that he knows shit about, then walks all the way across the building and then tries to remember from memory exactly what was said. And because he doesn't have the educational knowledge, there's no way that he's interpreting it correctly with the barrier. He said himself, just like the feds don't have any notes on the IGG and how they got to the tree and da-da-da-da, he even said himself, no, these were just conversations. No email proof of these conversations happening, no notes written down, anything like that. Just conversations, and then I'd go walk back to my desk and type it. So that's what he did with Dylan's testimony too. I'm not, I have no faith in any of this. It's all just a shit show. I've said this 1,000 times. There's no way in shit that a camera 50 feet outside of Xana's room picked up whimpering sounds, but a whole human being that's opening and closing her door doesn't hear screaming and fighting for their life. No way in shit. No way in shit. And that's my whole point. Like, the way that they hightailed it out of Idaho. They don't want to come back over state line. They don't want to be a part of nothing. The Goncalveses have said that from the beginning. There's something else that I was told about that situation too, but I really just don't want to say anything. And I've mentioned it before, but it's because I don't really know if it's true. But the person that told me this is the person who talked to Christy and got this information from Christy. But then again, that's one of those telephone things. I don't know if it was told to me the right way. You know what? It wouldn't be surprising if they did, but did not video it. Yeah. Right. See, I always lose my train of thought. If Bryan was the right guy, then what are they scared of? You know what I mean? Like, if Bryan was the dude that Dylan saw, why'd y'all hightail it the hell out of here? What are you scared of if the right guy is in shackles? Just doesn't make sense. Like, none of the behaviors make sense, especially the way that the school did some crazy stuff. It just feels so much like a cover-up by the school. Like, it really does. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, you can hear normal volume talking. You can hear Kaylee playing with her dog, or what you think is Kaylee playing with her dog, which means that you hear something along with like paws on the ground above your head because you're under. You can hear that. And you can hear crying from Xana's room, but you can't hear all of that. Come on now. Even Steve said that it was like a WWE match from what he could tell. And I really want to believe that, because even if it wasn't one-on-one with Ethan, there ain't no way that Ethan just went down easy. He was a big boy. Yeah, there's no way. And that's what my whole thing is. They're doing a really crap job of trying to explain to me that Bryan Kohberger did anything. Their own narrative is fighting against them, which again is ironic because it's literally falling exactly into what Bryan said, that he was going to use all of their evidence against them to prove that he was innocent, to be exonerated. It's all working out like exactly how he said. So how are we supposed to like not believe that this is going to end up the way that he said, if so far it's been doing exactly just that? It's just crazy. I talked to Samantha a couple days ago on TikTok. I messaged her. You know, the daughter that Steve wants to act like doesn't exist. Yeah. I talked to her the other day. Her and her daughter are doing well. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way they didn't hear anything. Hey, too fast to fleas. Well, I'm about to close it out anyway. We're just rambling. Oh well, here I am. I am rambling. Hey, Scott. Yeah. I mean, it isn't, but it isn't. Like, you're, as the defense attorney, you're supposed to like act like you believe in your client, right? But she definitely goes above and beyond with it. And it's not just her, it's also Masoth, right? Twizzy, that's her name, Masoth. It's also her. Like, they're both standing up and saying, we wholeheartedly believe that he's innocent. And with her freaking hand on his shoulder, she's touching him and not getting the heebie-jeebies. Imagine that. Imagine that. It is Masoth. It is Masoth. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just re-dyed it a couple days ago. Yeah. Firmly. With a hand on the shoulder. Yes, ma'am. Olivia is not Steve Goncalves' firstborn child. Samantha Nelson is. And she's gorgeous. She freaking literally looks like Angelina Jolie. It's insane. Hey, Angel. Masoth, probably. I'm not good at none of them pronunciations. I'm from Texas. Yeah, what was that? What was that? All of it. Okay, Nancy Grace started talking about how they're sitting separate from each other. And oh, what could it mean? And then there was like a couple other people. Seriously? You saw that I said it on 24. It's so stupid. Stupid. Well, hello. What? See, that's crazy to me. Maybe it's reading your IP. You should not be getting it at the same time. That's great. She does. You know what? I'm just going to, let me pull it up. I'll pull up her TikTok real quick. Just so you guys can see. She's probably going to be the first one that pops up. Nope, not this time. She normally is. It's surprising. Now, I know that she had some stuff happen, but she's pretty resilient, this girl. Would you hurry it up? This thing is so slow. Every time I'm on a live, here she is. Oh, she wrote me back. I'm going to need to write her back. Okay. Now I'm going to share her page. Because some of y'all might not know who Samantha is. I'll play this video for y'all. I will play this video. I don't need to listen to it because I've already seen it a time. Pause. Okay. This is Kaylee's tree that I'm going to show y'all. She is going to take us on a ride to go and see Kaylee's tree.
You want?
Oh. Yeah, it's just the music. We talk about it. That's actually what we were just talking about. I got to respond back to her. I never get on TikTok. She does. She favors him. Hey, you. Mm-hmm. Oldest. Mm-hmm. I literally just told her that. It makes me sad. Dogs. Mm-hmm. Very much so. There's the plaque. That part. She knows I talk about her. See? Just some super cuteness. Super cuteness. Yeah, that's Steve's oldest daughter. The one that, from the way the story is being told, Christy would not allow him to be a father to. Because she was, one of those ones, which I'll never understand because I was a stepmother before I was a mother. My ex-husband had a child whenever he was a teenager. He was like 17. So yeah, I was a stepmom before I was a mother. I don't understand. And then honestly, and I'm never going to share these. I will never, ever share these. Okay. But I do have conversations that were had between Kaylee and Olivia about Samantha, and they're bad enough to where I don't want to share them because I don't want to talk ill about the dead. I'll put it that way. They both take after their mama. I'm gonna put it like that. That's real sad. But yeah, I talked to Samantha on TikTok. When I remember to get on TikTok, her and Conspiracy are like the only people that I talk to on there. But I need to message her back because there was one missing. You know what? I've never talked to her about the case. I've never wanted to. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, Steve Goncalves. And she's got a daughter. Like, Steve isn't only just like missing out on a daughter, but a grandchild. Sort of like our current sitting president is missing out on his grandchild's life. Just saying. So yeah. It's really sad. Yeah, no, yeah, they're bad. I will never share them. Ever. Ever, ever. It's really sad. But no, actually, I just told her the other day, I was like, I just talked about you on my channel. I make sure, I just want you to know, I tell my people that you exist. They all know. Firstborn grandchild, firstborn child. It's very sad. And my whole point with why it made me look at them in another light, which most of you guys already know this, is because he came out about daughters, making Maddie like she was his, which is fine. Okay. He's known her since she was a child. She's Kaylee's best freaking friend for life, her soulmate in life. Okay. But you can't sit here and come preaching to me like that, Mr. Man, and have a whole child that you didn't do a damn thing with. And then to know that after all of this, that she came out and tried to like express her pain in her own way. And a lot of people thought it was selfish. No, she has like begged to be part of their lives. And because of the way that Christy conditioned them towards her, it never happened, even after they became adults. And it's sad. It's super sad. And even now, he's just like, just gets on my nerves. It does. It makes him look like a big old pea of poo. Makes him look like a big old pile of poo. Makes me mad. I know. Yes, and that's something that people get mad about, Angel, is that she'll sit there talking about the kid count on national television, knowing damn well I'm not going to use this word because of how the cause of death is. She's hurting Samantha by doing that, knowing damn well that she is purposely, thank you, Alf, that she is purposely not including her while talking about this on live TV, even after they all knew we knew about her. They still chose to just, oh, thank you, Allison. Thank you. See, I can't see the creature on it. Don't all the super stickers have creatures? I don't know. The StreamYard don't let me see the creatures. Yeah, and honestly, why would you want to marry and be with a woman who would not allow you to be a father? I know that if I were ever to get into another relationship, which that's the last thing, it makes me sick to even think about it because I'm not even trying. But there's no way that I could ever want to be in a relationship with a man that had another child that he had nothing to do with. That's like the nevers of the nevers. I don't. And then for a woman to just basically ultimatum a man into being that way, I don't get it. I mean, I've seen it in real life. I've seen it in real life, but it's gross. It's gross. Because he doesn't care, Angel. That's why whenever he came out, like, I didn't really say anything. I didn't feel no type of way about that alpha comment that he made. Because to me, at that point in time, Steve seemed like very much an alpha male. Until I found out about the truth about Samantha. And I'm like, oh, you beta boy. Oh, no. You came out here all kind of dumb. Nope. No, because they were talking about like the roommates. Whenever they were talking about people that were cleared too quickly, they were talking about the roommates because they didn't even know them. I mean, Christy admitted herself she'd never been to that house. So she never even met them. What did you misspell? See, now I want to go find it. Unless you didn't send it because you noticed it. Oh, see, that's spelled right. I don't know. I was looking for whatever you did. It's just crazy. I do too. They shouldn't have cleared anyone. Especially that first week. There's no way. But then again, I always question, how are they able to come out and be like, oh, this is targeted and oh, the community's fine so quickly to the point where even Thompson was like, yeah, if I had a kid, I'd have sent them back. Totally safe. You wild as shit. They didn't live very far. But then again, this is also the family that got a phone call saying that Kaylee had been pew-pewed, and they still sat on their freaking asses in their living room. Let's not forget that. Insane. Mm-hmm. Yes. Perfect words. Yes. Yes, I sure did. I noticed it especially after Samantha. Right after the stuff about Samantha came out is whenever I noticed that he stopped using Maddie and they stopped posting about Maddie so much. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it, Alice, but we went back over the interview that Bloom did over on Andrew D. Myers. It's an attorney's channel. You might have even seen it. But Andrew shows an email that he got from Steve Goncalves, and he's basically wanting Andrew to ask how he thinks that Maddie was the target, because if he has information, send it over to the prosecution, right? That's like the first time in months and months and months and months and months that we've even seen him acknowledge Maddie. Now, I know that on their Facebook page for Maddie May Day, they posted something, but they literally are only posting it because it was coming up. Now, when it comes to like pictures and stuff that they're posting, it's all Kaylee and like her friends, and not really. I mean, it's not like they're snubbing Maddie, but they're definitely not trying to do the whole, oh, they're both our daughters. This is our family. I'm her father figure. I'm doing this for this. You know what I mean? They're definitely not on that train anymore. As soon as we found out about Samantha, like they are just so telling. They're just so telling. That's why I say, like, especially in this Micah Miller situation, and I really do not like being right about these things. I don't. Like, people think I take whatever in this. No, I don't like being right about somebody being a loser. I don't. I read Micah Miller's family, and I was proven right 2 days ago. As soon as the situation came out, everything about Steve went away. I'm like, oh, you're not an alpha. Oh, you're not about nothing. And then I see what he does with the TikTokers and people on YouTube. He is a lot of the reason why there's so many false narratives out here. And he's not taking any accountability. Like, none. None. Oh, thank you for joining, Alf. Hey, Lori. Quit playing with me, CEO. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's cute. Thank you very much. Yeah, hypocritical behavior. Yeah, because people started calling him out and he didn't like it. He didn't like it. Well, you can't come out here and pretend to be something that you're not, because eventually the truth is going to come out. And if you're in the middle of one of the most high profile situations that your area has ever seen, we're going to scrutinize everything. And Christy was on my poop list from her first interview because she called Kaylee a brat and was talking about Jack as if she was love struck. And it was weird. It was weird. And then we find out about them getting a call hours ahead of time about something happening at the party, and that their daughter might actually not be alive anymore. And they don't do anything about it. They just sit down. They don't go to the house. They don't nothing. And they even call their phones and get no freaking answers from Kaylee or Maddie's phone. And they still don't think, maybe I should leave my house. No. The second my sister got like rushed to the hospital, I was calling into work. I was calling in it everywhere. I was getting the hotel. We were out the house in less than an hour to drive 6.5 hours away. They couldn't drive to the freaking house from Coeur d'Alene. What? All those people there. And then notice how we didn't even know that Steve was apparently in the emergency room that morning for some sort of situation that just like popped up out of nowhere. Why not mention that before? No. Linda Lane is not admissible evidence. No. They're able to disappear anything that they want to disappear. And if there was anything admissible for their story, for their narrative, if there was anything admissible on Linda Lane, it would have been scrubbed from the internet months ago, in my opinion. I don't think they did. Bro, Oh yeah, no, you come behind me with your lights on, honey. You might as well just escort me until I get there, because I'm calling 911 as I'm driving and saying, "Hey, I'm down. I'm going to this location because this is the situation. You got a dude behind me. You might as well put him in front of me and let me make my way, because I'm not stopping. I'll stop when I get there. Then he can give me a ticket, arrest me, whatever you got to do. But I'm not stopping." And there was more than one adult there, so they can't say, "Oh, they couldn't leave the kids alone," or blah 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 blah. Christy was there. Steve was there. One of them could have stayed home in case somebody showed up to tell them something else, and the other one could have left. They didn't. Exactly. Xana's dad immediately turned around because he was at WSU for Parents Weekend with Jasmine. Nothing stopped him from going back. They get a phone call saying that their daughter was, and they don't move. No. Out of your damn mind. Out of your damn mind. It makes me so mad how they just expect us to know these things and not have parents having something to say, parents who have been in dramatic emergency situations, parents who have been in certain things. Granted, there's a special few that actually know what it's like to lose their child, but even the majority of those people are like, "Excuse me?" with these behaviors. And I really just don't like the fact that the other families are just sort of like in the ether. What do you mean by potential predator? Like a potential suspect? Or like an actual like registered predator? I need to know the specifics of what you're asking me. Yeah, Maddie's did. I know Maddie's mom did. Kaylee's parents didn't. They didn't get a call saying Maddie had been at a party. They got a call that Kaylee had been at a party. You really can't. You can't. See? I'm not going to get a call saying that my daughter, no, and think I'm just going to sit there and wait for somebody to come knock, knock, knock on my door. Out of your mind, especially after calling the phone and not getting an answer, calling her best friend who she's with for the weekend and not getting an answer. What? Out of your mind. A suspect? Yeah, if they don't know they're suspects. I mean, honestly, they're probably going to end up questioning people that were interviewed, because we have to remember, at least I'd love to think that they would. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know, because I don't think that I don't know. In my opinion, it would be smart for them to have people that they were looking at previously testifying, because we know for a fact they were surveilling somebody enough to steal a cigarette butt and test DNA. That's pretty serious. They're even looking at a female at one point. And I want to know for sure, what's the person about that apparently sends threatening emails to females? And why was that the first thing that they were thinking about? Like, who is this person? Who is this person? Steve has Bieber face. I don't know about that. Your aunt, my aunt even called the predator and talked him into going to the police. That's crazy. Oh, as parents, do you not know where they live? Well, see, that's the problem. They did. They knew exactly where they lived. And even though Maddie had been there for like a minute, and Kaylee had been living there since summer, but she was back or whatever, but Maddie was there. So if you were so close and Maddie was like your second daughter, they're going to the same school, you're down there to see them anyway, you wouldn't have gone by the house? It's very strange. Very strange. Yeah, there's no victims advocacy or whatever paperwork for her. Yeah, I did a video about that a long time ago. I remember. I think we just talked about that too. Did we just talk about that? I think yesterday's live, maybe. Because I didn't remember whether it was Dylan. I didn't remember whether it was Dylan or Bethany. And y'all reminded me that it was Bethany, but yeah, she doesn't have any like victims notifications or anything on the case of interest summary for the case. It happens too. Cops can get real emotional about stuff. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and that's important because a lot of people are questioning where Bethany really was and stuff like that. And you know what? I don't really know. The PCA doesn't mean too much to me. Everything in the other PCA is copied and pasted. I don't know. I wish we knew where that was, because even if it was like literally for nothing important at all, that tripod literally could have picked something up. And I know that like where that was posted online, it apparently was deleted, and that's just kind of sketchy. I think that if Ann Taylor's investigator believes so, I believe so. I believe she does have exculpatory evidence. I remember that. Yeah. But the PCA is claiming that she was there, but I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. See, I don't think that's the case either. Like, I know that the timeline is all whatever. And honestly, I just don't believe that because the phone calls that Kaylee and Maddie were making at Jack, and I know that people are questioning that or whatever, and I know the Goncalveses are the Goncalveses, okay? But they did claim that Jack let them listen to a voicemail that Kaylee left on his phone that night. So she would have still been alive at 2:00 because they were making phone calls at like 2:50 something. The same exact time that they're claiming that Bryan was leaving his apartment, they were making calls to Jack. I'm gonna actually open Twitter here in a second so that I can message them, because that's wild. And I'm gonna send them a screenshot because I don't understand. They shouldn't be doing that crap. I really wonder about that, man. Just the way that Green took over and the house got disappeared and so many other things. And then we had these I don't even know. The school is definitely sus as hell. That's possible. A lot of people think that. And if the party that Ethan and Xana was at was really that intense and there was really a fight that really pissed him off, even if Ethan and Xana did leave and go home and they were like, home at midnight watching movies like Jeff says, Xana's dad. The frat guys didn't stop drinking and go home. Frat guys were still at the party drinking and doing whatever. And if the situation kept getting talked about and just kept on getting hyped up and everything just kept on escalating, it's only a few minute walk to go be stupid. That's wild. When they said they were looking at white supremacists, I'm like, just one? Because normally don't they go in like a group? Like, isn't it normally like a group of white supremacists? Because like even in the Delphi case, I know they're looking at the one specific guy, the Brad Holder guy, that hella favors Richard Allen. But it's not just him, like it's multiple people. That's why I'm like, oh, a whole one white supremacist is very strange. It's very strange. Everything, yes. Yeah, I know. That's the creepy part. That right there has always tripped me out. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. There's so many excessively trippy things in this case, and they could go a million different ways. That's the problem. And the house was never locked. Everybody and their mama had that code. We saw it. I thought I clicked you. We saw it. We saw the parties where the people that lived there were having to be called by the cops because nobody was apparently home. People just coming in and out. I am just so shocked that he stood up. Well, he didn't stand up. I believe it's like something that, did he say it out loud? I remember reading this as a quote, so I'm guessing he did. Basically, whatever. Claiming that, the PCA is irrelevant, then let him go. If it's irrelevant, then you can't use it to hold somebody if you used it to arrest them. Technically, if you're saying that this PCA is no longer relevant whatsoever, then everything that has come from that PCA is what? Fruit of the poisonous tree. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah. Some of them didn't even know who they were. True story. True story. And there was a lot of movement going on because it wasn't just a regular Saturday night, weekend situation in a college area. We had the parent stuff going on over in Pullman, which means you've got a whole wave of strangers in the area. And that's always kind of been weird to me too. There's just so much. There's so much. And then wasn't there like a football player from one of the colleges that got real stabby one time? And everyone was like, oh, maybe it was him because he was at the game for, I think it was Pullman that night. There's so many things that have come up. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. That's like the only real good thing that came from Linda Lane was finding out that that's a lie. Finding out that that's a straight up lie. People were coming and going all night. All night. That's the only thing about Linda Lane, I believe. They didn't. They did not, Angie. If you go in and you look at... Now, I'm just going to say I don't believe they did, because I'm pretty positive that the photos that we saw of the house, whenever it was still like listed publicly, you saw the doors for what they were currently at the time of the situation. And even though the PIN code was on the front door, it looked as if the doors, like the handles to everyone else's doors, were normal. They didn't have no PIN code on it. Now, that could be different. Okay, because we do know what Jeff said about Xana's lock, and I do believe that he is talking about a lock on her own bedroom door. I don't believe whatsoever that had something to do with that one. That it had something to do with the main door, because that's the landlord. And a lot of times with these landlords, especially in houses like that, if you go off and you do something on your own, you normally get in trouble. So maybe Jeff put one on Xana's door, but if you look through all of them, like, they're normal. But we've yet to see the inside of the house. We've seen no photos inside the house after the fact. Okay, this is dumb. You should not be getting commercials. That's absolutely stupid. Where'd it go? Yeah. Carlos Dominguez at UC Davis. They played Moscow that night. Yeah. And he literally went to jail for doing the exact same thing that Bryan Kohberger is being accused of. And it's just, one of those other coincidental things. Yeah, I didn't think so. And it's just like Jeff never said that the lock that he was putting or fixing or whatever on Xana's door was a pin lock either. Like, it could have literally just been a normal lock that just maybe wasn't working right, so we fixed it. See, some people think that, but I don't know. It would have had to have been intentional. To me, it would have to have definitely been intentional. They should have. I agree with you. They all should have had PIN codes, especially since it was all separate leases. Like, yeah, they should have. Ooh, 55 minutes noise. Do you pay for premium? That's probably why. If you pay for premium. But it's not supposed to even be doing that. Like, it's set on 24 minutes. So I don't know why it's being crazy and doing all kind of stuff it's not supposed to be doing. All right, guys. 10 o'clock. I'll set up the live thingy for tomorrow. We're going to go over the inventory list. And I already have, look, I have it all written down. This is how I take my notes. See that? Let's see. Can you see it? Is it not going to do it? Look. Oh, it's backwards. But yeah, look, you can see like I want to talk about Don Daniels, and then these are all the pages. I've got it all written down. But yeah, we're going to go over the apartment first, and then we'll do a separate live to go over the stuff that was taken from his parents' house in Pennsylvania. Yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow for sure. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock. YouTube is whack. It is whack. All right, you guys, you have a good night. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for all the things. And thank you, of course, for being here. I was really glad to see Alice today. I know I said that already, but she's been a huge, huge supporter. And I've been really wanting to like say that to her face. And this is about as close as I can do. Because just like responding to what she does it enough. And I'm just really glad that she showed up today. But that's it, you guys. Have a great night. Relax. Go dip into some Gypsy Rose tea if you need a break from true crime. Like, I know it's still true crime, but damn, I've been trying to just like keep up with the Gypsy Rose stuff. And eventually we're going to talk about Gypsy Rose just because I got lots to say. But I think that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go watch me some Gypsy Rose stuff because it's wild. I'm going to go ahead and do my closing. Y'all have a great night. See y'all. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already.